Welcome to The Hype. This is the preview. God damn, that is hard to say, dude. Say that 5 times fast. Welcome to The Hype. This is the preview review show. I'm your host, TJ Sloan, otherwise known as Pirates_3. I'm joined by my co-host for this episode,
Nino Chavez.
He's required to do it like that every time.
Nino Chavez.
If he doesn't do it like that, they don't pay him. I don't pay him if he doesn't throw up the hands. We have 3 topics for The Hype, as always. There's a topic from myself, a topic from Nino, and then a topic from you, the viewer, that you guys sent me via Twitter. So, with no further ado, we will jump right into it. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about each topic and talk about whether we think that topic is overhyped, meaning people are way too excited for it and it's not going to live up to the hype, whether it's underhyped, meaning that not enough people are talking about it and it actually deserves more excitement, or it's adequately hyped, meaning the amount of excitement that it's getting is well-deserved and it should be hyped up as much as it is being hyped up. So we'll jump right into our first topic here. Our first topic is All for Nothing, which is the upcoming album by Lauv. Lauv is a pop artist that sprung onto at least the radio a couple years back. I think his breakout track was I Like Me Better. Yep. Yeah, I think it's one of those. He's one of those artists that you play the track and then people go, oh, it's him. You know what I mean? But they probably don't know his name. They may not even know what he looks like. Yeah. You know what I mean? You play I Like Me Better, and people go, oh, I've heard this in a polls. Yeah, exactly. But he's got 2 singles out right now that are leading up to All for Nothing. One is called All for Nothing, but it's also subtitled I'm So in Love. And the other one is called 26. So before we get into how I feel about these songs, I'm going to pass it to Nino. Nino, tell me, what'd you think of these 2 tracks?
Very typical, is it Lauv or is it Lauv?
It's I looked it up today.
Okay.
It's as if you're going to pronounce loud, but make the D a V, so it's Lauv.
Okay, because I've always struggled, and I've heard some people call him just Love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's it. Very typical of his sound, and that's a good thing in my opinion. Okay. It's just a perfect blend of pop and a little bit of electronic, a singer-songwriter, and it's just this modern, perfect middle ground of pop, in my opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not overproduced. It's not like over EDM beats or some trap beats or anything like that. It's something subtle, original, and it's really good. And I think he's definitely doing a good job of keeping his sound, but still making it like interesting and new. I still think they're definitely listenable songs. You know what I mean? I saved them, I liked them. You know. Good. So I think they're solid. Good for him. Yeah, I would agree. I think some of the notes I have is that they're very on brand for Lauv. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like they didn't stray too much. I don't think he's gonna go down some weird path where I'm like, oh, I don't like what Lauv is doing anymore. Yeah. They were very on brand, but at the same time, they didn't do anything that really impressed me either. I'm So in Love didn't impress me that much. It was kind of just a love song. Yeah. You know what I mean? Generic love song. It was very skippable to me. It didn't do too much, but 26 was a little bit different for me. I like 26 because it kind of showed me a side of Lauv that I haven't seen before. And it's not something that no artist has done before. But he talks about 26 and I'm rich. How the hell did it come to this? Yeah. And I'm like, that's very good. I'd actually really like to see that side of Lauv. I mean, 20 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to be pretty established as an artist. You got to be pretty, So it'd be interesting to see him kind of talk about, I have made it. And it's not what I wanted. Yeah. It's not what I thought. I feel like it never is. No. I definitely did like that too about that song, is that it's a little more, a little sad boy, a little more insightful, you know, for him than just like a love song or about a girl. But this is a little more introspective. Yes. You know, and into his life and how he feels. And I like that too about it. He does a good job of, I'm so large of an artist and everything like that, but I'm still a person. Yeah. And I love when artists do that. Yeah, he really seems like a genuine guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a hard balance, you know what I mean? To hold in your head, and because everybody wants success. Yeah. You know, but at what cost? So for All for Nothing by Lauv, I actually think that it is underhyped. You think underhyped? I think underhyped because I think that, like we said, he's had a breakout hit or 2 maybe. He can get some play in like a Coles, but like I think a lot of people don't know who Lauv is. They don't know what he looks like. They don't know his story. They don't know anything about him, and so I think it's a little bit underhyped. Honestly, that's my take on it. What do you think? I would say adequately. Okay. Only because he's a very niche artist, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, so he's got a good audience. So, even though he's had one big breakout hit. Yeah. I think this isn't his best work, It's still his good work from him, and he's the niche artist. So I think it's adequately hyped, you know. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good album from him.
Yep.
And nothing going to change the world. It's not going to break any new barriers. It's not going to change music forever. Yeah. I think it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah. That's the only thing with Lauv is he's really good at what he does, but I really wish he'd deviate a little bit and do something a little bit different. There's one other thing we wanted to talk about. We were, just before we started the show here, we were talking a little bit about the track All for Nothing, subtitled I'm So in Love.
Oh, yeah.
And we Nino and I both made the same point. We actually said it right about the same time too. We said it sounds just like Last Christmas.
And it works. It's a throwback sound, you know, it's kind of a retro vibe that works. It's the 80s sound is really coming back now.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. But I think everybody's kind of beating this dead horse. That's just
I agree.
80s retro shit, guys. Look, you know.
Right.
It's like, we get it.
Right. If anything, do an 80s track and put The Weeknd on it. Like Post Malone did.
I was just about to say. Yeah, exactly.
All for Nothing by Lauv is slated to come out August 5th. So I'll be looking forward to it because I think that it's going to be a pretty good album. And I'm really excited to see what direction Lauv goes next. But speaking of Post Malone, that brings us to Nino's topic.
Yes.
It is called 12 Carat Toothache.
Yes.
Right? And it's going to be Posty's new album.
I have a lot to say about this, honestly.
Do you?
I love Post Malone. Always have since Stoney. The thing is, like, with Stoney and with Beer Bongs and Bentleys, every song felt like a single. And then Beer Bongs and Bentleys came out, and bro, it was just back to back to back to back. Every song is a fucking banger, bro. It's bangers on bangers. Every song felt like a single. Yeah. Literally in that one, every single song did. And that one was 18 songs again.
Okay.
And, I mean, that, in my opinion, was Post Malone's peak.
Okay.
Well, maybe. It was really close to it.
Okay.
But that album was just so fucking good. It was just radio. It was pop, but it was hip hop, but it wasn't at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and it just was so. It was so this new cutting edge sound of Post Malone. Then Hollywood's Bleeding came out, and the big ones off that one were like Wow, which was an absolute banger. That was my top played song of 2020.
Okay.
On my Spotify, you know, Circles, huge radio hit.
Yep, huge
you know,
radio hit.
Goodbyes, and then Sunflower. Of course.
Yes.
Sunflower, bro. That one was just like blew everything out of the water.
Okay.
But personally, I didn't like that album as much.
Really?
Other than those songs, which were absolute massive commercial successes, I don't think that album was as strong in the sense of like a lot of songs felt like filler songs.
Okay.
You know, there was, but the thing is, that one was packed to the brim with features and with A-list features too.
Was he at that point so big that he's like, I can work with anybody?
Yes.
Or
I think that's what it was.
Was everybody saying, I need to work with Posty?
Oh, I see.
I need to get, and so he was getting calls on calls on calls.
Yeah.
Saying, let's
work.
Collab, let's work, let's vibe. You know what I mean?
And I think I'm sure it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
That album, to me, it felt like it was just because you can do a song with a certain person doesn't mean it's going to be a good song. Just because two great big artists are in a song doesn't mean it's a good song. And that brings me to this album, The Weeknd and him. Two of the biggest artists in the world of this last few years.
The Weeknd was number one for a hot second.
Yeah, I 100% believe it. And I love The Weeknd.
Yeah.
It's hits.
Yeah. So you're talking about the single called One Right Now that Post Malone and The Weeknd did. Yep. The other single is called Cooped Up with Roddy Ricch. We'll get to that one in a second.
Yeah.
But One Right Now with The Weeknd.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on it?
Now, okay, so that's what I was getting to. Now, just because you have some of the biggest artists in the world on a song doesn't make it a good song inherently.
I agree.
You know? And there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the song, but nothing sticks out to me. Nothing says, oh, I need to listen to that again. No lyric jumped out to me. I don't know what the song's even about, barely.
Okay.
It just felt like you took the Weeknd sound, you took Post Malone sound, you threw them in an auto lyric generator on Google, and then boom, all right guys, sing these lyrics, and we're going to just throw the same guy that did the production on The Weeknd onto it, and then throw Posty on there. And that's what it felt like to me.
It's like an AI wrote it. It's like an AI listened to 100 hours of Post Malone, 100 hours of The Weeknd, and said, is this a song?
And they said, I feel like that's kind of what the industry does too.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, this formula's working really well for both of them. Let's throw it together and put it in a song and release it. And then just put like millions in marketing and put it in front of people so they can't help but hear it and they eventually grow to like it.
Yeah.
You know? And I've heard this song at the gym 20, 30, 40 times. And I listened to it on my own time. Getting ready for this, critically listening to it.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, maybe I just missed it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. You know what I mean? I've heard it before, and I still can't remember a single melody from it. I can't like offhand without hearing the song again. And I've heard it repetitively over this last few months since it's been out.
The problem that I have with it is I think The Weeknd actually overshadows Posty's part.
Okay.
Post Malone has one verse, and then they do some intricate things in the chorus together that sound really good to me. I think it sounds really good. But the only memorable part of the song for me is The Weeknd going, "You say you love me, but I don't care." Other than that, like, it's a pretty forgettable song. Like, I didn't put it on any playlist. I said, that's a pretty good song. I hit like, but it didn't make any playlists for me. And that's the part that bothers me a little bit. It had the ingredients. But something went wrong. They overcooked it. You know what I mean? Something went wrong somewhere.
Well, I think
it just doesn't do it for me.
I think one of the biggest things is too is that there's such big artists that there's a standard. There's a really, really high bar for both of them. I don't think Post Malone cares that much if it does as well. He's reached his peak. He's reached his...
He can shit on a track
literally
for 3 minutes straight. Not that he would. I think he still cares about his job, you know what I mean? But he could, in a sense, poop on a track, release it as a single, and it's still gonna make him a shit ton of money. Like, he's set, you know what I mean? And this is my thing. I think this happens to pop artists. I think it happens to rock artists. I think it happens to all artists. I think it happens to everybody in the industry. But I think it happens to rap artists most noticeably.
Really?
Because they have to grind so hard to get to be at the top. Your bars have to be fire. You have to have the best lyrics. You have to have the best beats. And then you finally make it and you lose that drive. Because you've done it. You've made it. You know what I mean? There's nothing itching at you. You gotta be better. You gotta push. Because you're also probably surrounded by people that are always like, "Damn, Posty, this one's fire. This one's good." Whereas before it was, the world doesn't care. The world doesn't care about you. You have to make them care. But once the world does care, it's like, shit, like, was this good or not good? You know what I mean? Like, they're probably surrounded in a booth with 10 people who are all like, "That's fire, The Weeknd. That's fire, Post Malone." Like, for 12 Carat Toothache, I feel like we're gonna flip. I don't know how we feel about it. I'm going to say adequately hyped. Just because out of the two singles, the one which I liked quite a bit, but the other one I really wasn't feeling, I don't know what I'm going to see from Post Malone on this album. You know what I mean? I had one that like almost met expectations and one that didn't meet expectations at all. So I'm putting it as adequately hyped because I think Post Malone will still have a couple fire tracks, as he always does.
I hope so.
But I don't think it's going to do anything that's going to pull me into being more of a Post Malone fan. I think he's done it already. Like you said,
exactly.
He peaked.
I agree with that 100%. I think it's overhyped. I've had a few friends. I've had a few friends that have mentioned it to me. And I think it's just because it's a Post Malone album. Because I love Post Malone, and some friends know that, about me. And so they've mentioned it to me. And both of those tracks were below standard in my opinion, below the expectation. Not they're bad songs.
I liked One Right Now with The Weeknd, even though it didn't do much for me. I liked it. I just liked the vibe of it. I did not like Cooped Up.
See, I'm the opposite.
You liked Cooped Up?
I liked Cooped Up.
Really? It didn't speak to me. The lyrics didn't do much for me. It was a song, and I'm like, for a lead-up single to the album, it scares me a little bit.
No, I agree. I do agree with that. It's not strong enough by any means to be the lead single for an album. As opposed to Hollywood's Bleeding lead single was Wow. I liked it more than the Weeknd one just because it felt less generic. In the sense that you've been hearing that 80s sound everywhere, It felt more like the original Post Malone. I personally don't think it's going to be as good of an album because he doesn't care as much anymore. I really don't think he does. Because, the album title speaks to that, in my opinion. He's just like, this is my job. I have to do this now. There's an expectation. The label signed me on for so many albums. I have to give them something. I think if I get excited about this album, I'll be disappointed.
12 Carat Toothache is slated to be released June 3rd. So that's coming up real quick here, actually. So hopefully Post Malone sees this. We love you, Posty.
We love you, Posty.
And that'll do it for 12 Carat Toothache, upcoming album by Post Malone. Our last topic comes from you, the viewer, via Twitter. For this episode, I had Joe, who's actually my sister, tweet at me and said, "Can you review the Lightyear trailer?" And yes, we can. I am just going to say right away, I don't care how much hype this movie has, it's underhyped.
It's underhyped.
I'm saying it's underhyped. I
don't care.
It looks so good. I'm such a Toy Story fan that I'm saying underhyped. I feel like I haven't seen people really on social media talking about it. The trailer, the second trailer that they just released, looks really good. It looks like a really fun movie. I really like the animation style for it. So overall, I just really think I'm going to love this film. What do you think,
agree.
Nino?
I agree 100%. This one I'll agree with you on.
Okay.
Underhyped. I've barely heard anybody talk about it. Like you said, I've heard some memes. I've heard that it's coming out.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anybody like that trailer was sick. I'm excited. Any release dates, nothing like that.
Yeah. That
people are like talking about or whatever. And we're a generation of Disney fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these 90 kids, that was some of the best Disney movies ever came out in the 90s.
I agree.
You know, in the early 2000s, like Lilo and Stitch and shit like that. I expect my friends to be talking about it.
Yeah.
You know? But from what I saw from the trailer, it reminds you of Interstellar in a way.
Yeah.
Because of some of the parts of like the time being off and different in space or whatever. Different planets.
Shout out to Gabriel. He showed me Interstellar. He kept saying, "You gotta watch this movie, bro. You gotta watch this movie." I'm like, I don't know. Is it just one of the we're in space? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of was like, oh, we're in space. But it was actually really good. It had a great twist at the ending. Yeah. Interstellar was really good, and so like
it gives me chills because I love the ending of that movie.
Yeah, it kind of takes you by surprise because it has a slow start. It's got kind of a slow middle. It's a real slow movie, but eventually picks up. Eventually picks up, and like the last. God, it's pretty long. So like the last 45 minutes to an hour, you're like, holy shit, this is really happening. You know what I mean?
I think almost 3 hours.
It picks up. Yeah, it's very
Hans Zimmer did the score to that, and some of the.
I recognize that name.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Big composer, but that's what it reminded me of. You know, kind of like an animated style of that. You know.
Yeah.
But I like the animation style a lot too because it feels like it has like some realistic. It's not like hyper animated. You know what I mean? That everything like if you are watching it, you might forget it's animated for a second. Yeah. It's realistic, like, textures and realistic, like, lighting. Yeah. You know, that it feels... I think they're still made for the kids. Yep. We just can enjoy it as adults, too. Yeah. And I think all of our favorite Disney movies growing up were that way. Whether it was Lion King, whether it was Mulan,
Hercules,
whether it was Hercules. This Lightyear also reminds me of the old animated series.
Yes!
That's what it reminds me of too because it's his own spin-off. Yeah. It's his backstory, it's his adventures, and I love that. I used to love that show, bro. Yeah, I used to... And they never did that with Woody, really.
No.
Woody's Roundup.
I think Lightyear's going to be really good. It's slated to drop June 17th, so that's not too far off either. So I'm really excited. Hope more people start talking about it because, as we both said, it's underhyped right now. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Lightyear. That's going to wrap up our show for us. Nino, tell people where they can find you and what you are up to. Let them know what's going on in your life.
So all my handles, all my socials are Noise by Nino. And then I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you find music, stream music. I'm an artist and a producer full-time. And I have an album coming up this summer that I've been sitting on for already 6 months. Yeah. And it's my debut album as a solo artist. And I'm really excited for it. It's a solo album, no features or anything like that. And I consider my best work. Yeah, it is. He said it is.
It is. I've heard it.
Yeah. It's going to come out this summer for sure. Absolutely no questions asked. It will be out this summer.
And now it's on video, so we're all going to hold you to it.
Oh, no. Yeah. But yeah, that's me, Nino Chavez.
All right. And he has to do that or I will not pay him. You guys know me. I'm TJ Sloan, otherwise known as Pirates_3. You can catch me right here on this very YouTube channel doing lives. I also do short form content in the form of the YouTube shorts. And then, of course, I'm a music artist as well. So you can check out, I've got some upcoming singles that are about to be out. You just search TJ Sloan on any streaming platform, and you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter at Pirates_3. Let me know what you thought of these hype topics. Are we overhyping this stuff, underhyping it? Do you think they're adequately hyped? Let me know in the comments below. And also, you can either let me know in the comments or tweet at me what you want the next episode's hype topic to be. What do you want us to talk about in upcoming music?
Sorry. I try not to.
That's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do. What do you want us to talk about in upcoming music, movies, or video games? Let me know by comment or just tweet at me at Pirates_3 using the hashtag Hype Train. Thanks for joining us here on The Hype. I hope appreciate you guys. I'll check you on the next one. And until then, we'll catch you at the next stop. Woo woo. Oh, see? He don't know. He don't know. Thanks for joining us here on The Hype. We'll catch you at the next one. We'll see you at the next stop. Woo woo. And there it is.